Riding a bike gives great freedom, and one of the things that I enjoy most is that it allows me to explore different breakfast places every day. Within 1 hour, I can get out of the house, find a place that serves good local Malaysian breakfast, and get to office still before 9 o'clock. So it's definitely something that I enjoy a lot. My name is KY. I run a blog about food and travel at kyspeaks.com.
ConcreteJungle is a community project supported by Green Room 136. Looking for awesome bags for your urban carry? Check out greenroom136.com for urban bags designed and handmade in Malaysia. greenroom136.com. Music for this podcast is courtesy of Guitar Wizard Samad. Buy his album at asamad.bandcamp.com. Okay, Adam, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Thank you very much for today's interview.
Thank you for inviting me.
And let's talk about, before we talk about the nest, right, let's talk about yourself.
Sure.
Tell us where you're from, and tell us how you come about being in Malaysia and how you started out.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Adam Hirsch, codename Mr. Tropicana. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I've been in Malaysia for about 2 years now. Used to live in Hong Kong as well, so always been familiar with the region. Knew that I wanted to build some companies out here, and here we are.
Why do you choose Malaysia?
So initially, I had no idea that I was going to end up in Malaysia. I had a really good buddy of mine who gave me a call soon after that I had sold a company in Canada, and he said, come to Malaysia. I had a vague idea of where it was, but to be honest, I did check a map, and within 2 days, I was on a flight heading over to Malaysia. So there was
you've never been to Malaysia before?
I hadn't been, no. And there was no extensive market analysis or research or anything like that.
So that's kind of bold, right?
I was a good friend. I trusted him. Yeah.
Right.
And then obviously after, landing in Malaysia and doing a bit of work here, getting involved with the market and the startup community, realized that it was actually a very good and lucky choice.
Have you done any startup while you were in Hong Kong, or were you back in Canada?
So back in Hong Kong, I was still studying.
Right.
After that, headed back to Canada. I was in software engineering.
Software engineering, okay.
Yeah.
So you went back to Canada first before Malaysia?
Yeah, so Hong Kong to Canada, started a couple small companies, little startups.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure.
Those?
Yeah, so one of them was a math and science tutoring service. In one sentence, Airbnb for tutoring. So there was an online platform where the tutors and the students could connect and book, etc. But it was very, very small times. And the second one was called Wildcard, a entertainment and lifestyle membership card, so access into different venues, store discounts, prizes, events. That one ended up doing quite well, and we pivoted into more of a tech company, which we're now licensing out globally, actually.
So Wildcard is still around?
It is.
And the tutoring business, is it still on?
No.
No, it didn't work out too well?
Wildcard, so at the time I was still studying back in Canada.
Okay.
And Wildcard was going on, the math tutoring was going on as well. I dropped out. Sorry, Mom, I love you, but I did drop out. And I also ended up just handing over the math tutoring business to a friend, essentially.
Okay.
Because I had no time to run that, and shifted the focus to Wildcard.
All right, so the tutoring business is still doing well. It's just that you're no longer part of it.
No, it's gone. It's shut down.
Oh, it's shut down already. Yeah. Okay, all right.
It lived a good life and then it passed on.
Okay, so how did what gave you? How was it like to decide that you wanted to drop out? And
It's a big
was
question.
it because you wanted to do a startup or?
Yes, I can you know, luckily say that there's absolutely no regrets whatsoever.
Uh-huh.
That's not to say that studying isn't good. Studying's great, but having two startups going on simultaneously
Right.
while studying, and just being incredibly passionate about what I was doing within those startups, and significantly less passionate about what I was doing in school.
Right.
It was a very easy decision.
Yes.
Again, you know, no regrets whatsoever.
You would do it
Ask me
again in a heartbeat?
Well, ask me again in 15, 20 years, we'll see. But for now, yeah, no, it was an easy decision.
Okay, so was it difficult for you to let go of Wildcard and move over to Malaysia?
So Wildcard, we managed to get a small exit from it, actually.
Right.
So I kept a
Was
piece
it
of
because you wanted to come to Malaysia?
No, actually, it just we had a successful exit there,
Uh-huh.
and
You wanted to
then
try
I
something
was
new.
looking around. Exactly, I was looking to find the next opportunity, and that's when I got the call from my buddy.
So you just say, okay, let's just pack our bag. I have no clue what we're gonna find.
Yeah.
Let's just get there and figure it out.
Yeah, I canceled my phone plan and called my credit card company saying you're going to be getting some charges from the other side of the planet soon, and then I hopped on a plane. So it was a very quick decision, but fantastic journey so far.
Okay, so when you're here in Malaysia for the very first time, you have absolutely no roots whatsoever to work on, no leads to work on. You're basically here with nothing but a backpack.
Knew one person. Yeah.
Only one person, right? Where do you begin?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So what I did was join Rocket Internet, the German investment group. They own a number of ventures here in Malaysia and globally.
Zalora, Lazada.
Exactly, Food Panda, Price Panda, list goes on. So I joined them for all of 2 months, and basically leveraged that as a platform to build up my network within Malaysia. And yeah, I mean, it worked incredibly well. Learn a lot of things. I know, you know, Rocket Internet has a poor reputation. Objectively speaking, they do a lot of things incredibly well.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of lessons on, you know, what not to do. But overall, fantastic experience and great way to build up that network very quickly.
For the past 2 years, Rocket has been really, you know, massive hire, very big expansion plans, you know,
Yeah.
in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So I suppose they are doing well right now, do you think?
I would say so, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Lazada, I think they've raised somewhere around 486 million US regionally. So, you know, a lot of people can hate on Rocket Internet, but at the end of the day, bringing that much money into the region,
Yeah,
it's
they're meeting their
difficult to
objectives,
brand
that's
that
for
as a
sure.
bad thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so after Rocket, that's where you, how do you come about, let's talk about the conceptualization of the Nest.
Sure.
How do you come about?
Yeah, so the Nest, let me take one step back. So the Nest came to life after Mother Goose Venture Developers.
Right.
And so MGVD is a venture development group. What that means is we've got a
MGVD meaning
Mother Goose Venture Developers.
Okay.
Yeah, the goose. Let's
Right.
put it at that, the goose.
What about that?
We actually have a pet goose. Maybe I'll grab one in a minute so you can see our mascot. Bro, do you want to grab it? Yeah, cool. All right. So the goose is a group of around 30 Malaysian and global entrepreneurs that have come together with one very clear goal, which is to build successful companies.
Okay.
Right. And the Nest, which we're here to talk about today,
Yeah.
is actually, it started as the office space for MGVD. But obviously, being a venture builder, we want to interact and basically become the connecting point for entrepreneurs, startups, investors, industry experts, etc. And so what we've done is we've turned the Nest into an event space as well as a co-working space. And, you know, still very early days. I'm sure you've got a lot of tough questions for me about the Nest, but doing very well so far at achieving our goals of becoming that connecting point for the startup community.
How long has the Nest been open for business?
It's
still very new, right?
Yeah, I think 6 months now. So prior to moving into this building, we were based in Damansara, actually.
Oh, I thought it was a real goose.
Thank you. So this is the goose. Everyone say hi. Okay. We'll let him sit down here somewhere. Awesome. So we were based in Bangsar for a few months.
Right.
We were at BRDB behind Bangsar Shopping Center. Then we were at Nuuk, which is close to UOA Bangsar.
With Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. Very cute space as well.
Yes.
And then finally we got our own office, so a big bungalow office, private pool, PlayStation 4. What's up? Yeah.
Okay. So what is the direction of the Nest? Earlier it was an office for the Goose.
Yeah.
And now it has turned to something else, which is a co-working space. How is that helping out? What do you foresee the future to be like?
Right. So to be clear, it still is the office
Right.
for MGVD, and it always will be.
It will be, yes.
And that in itself is the biggest amount of value that we can add to an event and co-working space. The
Yes.
fact that when people visit the Nest or when they co-work from the Nest, they're not working in a beautiful space that's empty. They're working in a beautiful space that's full of 30 plus people that are actually building companies, right? And that was, for us, the number one reason in doing this is that we've been to many spaces in Malaysia, whether it's in KL or Cyberjaya. There are a lot of beautiful spaces. Very few of them, if any, that are actually full of people building companies. And so that's why for us, having this core group of entrepreneurs that we can then, share and expose to the entire startup community is hugely valuable. Yeah.
Okay. A little sidetrack.
Sure.
What was the challenge? Perhaps can you share with us a little bit about the challenges of starting up the Nest?
Yeah, I mean,
As a Canadian, right, in Malaysia,
Well,
what was the challenges?
yeah.
What was the challenges like?
I'm not sure if it's specific to being a Canadian. Everyone
Yeah.
loves Canadians, right?
Or being a foreigner?
I think it's more about the fact that there are so many spaces, right? And again, a lot of them are really beautiful spaces. So getting the Nest out into the market so that people know about it. If I'm looking for a space, this is one of the options. That obviously takes a bit of time. But I think over the last few months, especially the last couple months, we've managed to do quite well with that. And for us, getting people to come into this space and visit it, once they're here, they fall in love with it. So it's just a matter of getting more foot traffic into the building.
Okay. And about a year or two ago, there were a lot of co-working space, mushrooming up left,
Yeah.
right, center.
Yeah.
And through that time until what we are today, we're going to see some degradation in the co-working space industry. Some have already closed shop.
Right.
Some are still doing all right. Some are still trading on a very thin line. How do you foresee the business of co-working space leading ahead, and what do you see the business of startup in Malaysia?
Right.
What are the potentials that you see?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So I see co-working spaces and event spaces as fantastic opportunities to build a community. I don't see them as the best way to build a profitable business, right? And so what I mean by that is that a lot of co-working spaces will open up thinking, oh, it's so easy. I build this building and then I fill it up with a few desks and then boom, I have a profitable business. Kind of, it could work. It very rarely does work. But I think if the mindset is, let's build this building, let's fill it with, fantastic facilities, and then once it's full of passionate entrepreneurs, let's find other ways to leverage those people to get them involved. So for us, we don't look to profit from the Nest. I mean, the rates, you guys can check the website. The rates are very, very cheap. Because we don't want to profit off of that. What we want is to be surrounded by more motivated, focused, and passionate entrepreneurs, because at the end of the day, that's what we love, right? That's what we love, building companies. So being surrounded by other people that love building companies is going to allow us to feed off of each other's energy. And for us, that's the real value.
So your plan of building an ecosystem rather than just an empty space that you rent out, cubicles and that's about it. You rent
Right.
cubicles, but you're more of looking for an ecosystem of startup, the energy.
We hate the word ecosystem, so I'm sorry. But yes, we want to build a hub for startups and entrepreneurs.
Do you curate? Do you identify like who gets to come in, who does not?
Let me put it this way: if they walk in here and they love the environment, then they're going to be a good fit. I mean, there's always music going on. There's always crazy people walking around. If they're not scared of us, then I have a feeling that we'll
They have
love
to
them
be
as
afraid
well.
of you.
No, they don't. Some of them are though. No.
Okay, so what are the people that is taking up space in the nest?
Wow, there's a huge range. A lot of freelancers get based here because typically they'll work out of home and be very lonely, and it's difficult to build a startup, right? Especially for those first 6 months, you're all alone, don't have that many people to bounce ideas off of. So for them, there's a huge amount of value coming here. We also get a lot of expats, sort of traveling entrepreneurs. For example, we had 4 guys here recently that are from Germany. They're working on this incredible project. They're all computer science grads, and they are gamifying mapping of the human brain. So they were based in Silicon Valley for a couple months, and then they came out here. They were based here for about 2.5 months, and just absolute rock star programmers, very, very cool guys. And for them, they made the nest their home for the 2.5 months that they were here. So, very different types of people, but they all come together and end up loving it here.
So all the people that is currently at the nest, what made them decide to? Because I see a lot of foreigners,
Right.
Foreign-based startups here. Why did they choose to come to Malaysia to do a startup? Were there any? Is there something that they see that we, for them to say, yeah, this is where I want to be?
Within Malaysia?
Within Malaysia,
Yeah, it's a big one. I think
it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
They can go anywhere. They can go to Singapore. They can go to Indonesia. They can go to China.
Yeah.
Being a huge market. What did they choose? What do you think they choose Malaysia?
For a base, I mean, the countries in this region are all radically different, right? But I think Malaysia has a wonderful balance if you look at some of the different variables. So obviously levels of English are quite high here. Operational expenses are incredibly low. The market acceptance for new technologies or new applications of existing technologies is quite open as well. So there's a number of variables where once you piece it together, it's actually a really attractive market to play around with new ideas, right? So achieving that hockey stick growth is very difficult in any market, and I mean, it should be difficult, but at least in Malaysia, getting that initial phase of feedback and market and customer validation is quite easy, actually. So I think for that reason, it is an attractive market to be based in, play around, achieve the initial growth, and then expand regionally.
So what about? Okay, I've got a very good one.
Oh no!
How do I?
Oh no!
How do I phrase it? Now, of course, the hub of entrepreneurship has always been in San Francisco, the Silicon Valley, right? And
for now.
Correct, and there are other industries that's upcoming, like New York is increasing, Indonesia is increasing, Singapore is expanding, Malaysia is one of those. But I always felt that the market is closer towards Silicon Valley, and that in order to hit to get into a gateway, to get into the world, I've always felt it has to be in Silicon Valley. What do you think about that? What is your perspective?
I mean, I would be there. I would be there if that was the only place to build successful companies, right?
What do you choose again? Coming back, what do
yeah.
you choose Malaysia when you're so close? It's so easy for you to just, take the next plane down to Silicon Valley to do a startup. What was that like?
Yeah. All right. So if you look at what it takes to build a company, it's quite clear. Right? Doesn't matter what the industry is, doesn't matter what the product is, you need people, you need ideas, you need money.
Channel, inventory, that's about it.
Yeah. So if we then look at Malaysia and Southeast Asia as a whole, actually, the number of ideas or the number of opportunities is actually unlimited.
Right.
And it's scary in some ways. I mean, we're going more into the direction of MGVD now. I mean, that's really why we're based here. Because there are so many opportunities. You open one door, there's 10 more doors,
Right.
each with attractive opportunities behind them. So that you know, for me to say that we would have to be based in Silicon Valley to build a successful company is ridiculous, because there are simply just so many untapped opportunities out here.
So is it all right for me to say that here gives you the opportunity to develop a product rather than it's easier, it's much more easier and much more accessible for you to develop a product here versus in Silicon Valley, whereby maybe the cost is higher. And am I giving a right assumption?
Yeah, in some ways, I think you can build products in Southeast Asia without having to overcomplicate it too much, which is really nice. Especially, I mean, from a tech standpoint, simpler is better in most of the world, but especially out here, you know, there's really no need to overcomplicate the product development cycle. And that for us is exciting because we get to focus more on business development, right? Which is, again, what we're passionate about, going out, building relationships with customers, clients, partners, investors, whoever it may be.
Okay, so for someone who is housing at the nest, right? What are the benefits of cross-platform with Mother Goose as a venture developer?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of things. I should have brought a list.
All right.
No, but it's MGVD has a large pool of resources, human, financial, knowledge, whether it's as business development teams, tech team, marketing team, etc. So all of these resources are actually available for the different startups and entrepreneurs that are based out of the nest. We also conduct a number of events and workshops, internal workshops as well as workshops for people on the outside, and these are all available for free to anyone that's co-working here. So just you know, a large community of entrepreneurs that are here not only to consume knowledge, but also share and contribute back. So it is a fantastic learning environment.
Can you share a little bit about some of the activities that you have done prior? Consider the fact that it's only 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of the ones that always comes to mind for me, a great event we had was with Kickstart, one of the Mind Valley communities led by Maverick. And so we had Kickstart nesting here, which we then conducted a workshop on how to deliver a 60-second pitch. And it was very hands-on, interactive. There's around 120 people here, broke them up into different teams of 10, and they all developed their own 60-second pitch, then competed internally in each of those teams, selected a winner, and then came for the final pitch in front of a panel of judges. We also had a water gun, which I think everyone loved. So if they went over 60 seconds, they then got soaked with the water gun. So fantastic event. And you know, Kickstart, if you haven't gone to those, go to Kickstart, one of the best you know, monthly events within the startup community here in Malaysia. And we're actually doing another one, I think this coming Saturday, the 22nd, if that's a Saturday, at the Nest as well. Yeah.
Okay, so for someone who's staying here at the Nest, do they take this place more as a co-working, literally a co-working space, or do they have gateways to other things like, you know, helping with funding, helping with you know, the next progression of the business,
Right.
Getting distribution and those sort of things?
We're not a service provider. Right. We're definitely not a service provider. We're not here to profit off of the entrepreneurs or the startups here.
It's not an incubator per se.
No.
It's not a Y Combinator.
Right. Definitely not.
Kind of program.
Yeah. If someone wants to build a company with us,
Right.
That would be through MGVD, and maybe we'll talk about MGVD another day.
Okay.
That would be exciting. But from the Nest perspective, it is a pool of shared resources that are available for people to tap into at no cost. And on top of that, there are all of the facilities here, like I mentioned earlier, pool, PlayStation 4. I showed up here earlier today, and there were a couple people that were still passed out on the beanbags. I think they had a late night last night. So we're open 24/7. There's no complications here. Basically, if you want to build companies, come to the Nest.
Okay, right. If someone comes to you with the mind and the passion to start up something but no idea what they want to do, what would be the top 3 things you would share with this person?
Oh, those are my favorite types of people, actually.
Right.
That's fantastic. Top 3 things. Okay. Number 1 would be, we're allowed to swear on this show, right? I think that's what you said. Okay.
Go right ahead.
Just fucking do it, yeah?
Okay.
Or just do it, but just fucking do it. Whatever excuse you're making in your mind, whatever you're waiting for, whatever perfect opportunity you're waiting for, stop waiting for it and just do it. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Second one would be act as if. That's actually a saying I've shared with the team a lot of times. It's from that movie, I think back in the 90s, Boiler Room. There's one scene, I don't remember the details, but basically they're saying act as if, and what it means is whoever you want to be, whatever you want to be that person. So when you enter a room, fill the room with your energy. When you're on the phone call, making a sales call, be whoever you want to be, right? So
fake it until you make it.
Fake it till you make it if you have to, yeah. Act as if. And number 3, oh boy. Can I get back to you on that one?
While you think about that, let's go back to the first
number
one.
3 would be work from the nest, all right? There you go. Actually, this is perfect. Number 3, surround yourself with people that are challenging you on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's actually incredibly important. The second you start surrounding yourself with people that are slowing you down, you're going to fail. So make sure that if you want to be a motivated, focused, passionate entrepreneur, then you should only be surrounded by motivated, focused, and passionate entrepreneurs.
So how, earlier your number 1 is just do it.
Yeah.
Right? And do you feel that it's easy for someone to just do it? Considering the fact that perhaps, provided they have the skills for it.
What skills are we talking about? If it's, tech development?
I mean, I've come across a lot of people who say that I want to cook, I want to open up a restaurant, but can you cook? I can eat. I want to start I want to do a startup. I want to do a tech startup.
Right.
But can you code?
Right.
I can hire.
Yeah. So get a good mentor first of all. Someone who's not family, someone who isn't necessarily in love with you.
Right.
So that they can say no, that's stupid. Don't do that. Get a good mentor, definitely. A good support structure as well, because you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna need to pick yourself back up. But to answer your question, is it easy? It actually is quite easy. For those that are fortunate enough to be able to, quit their job and give up everything and commit entirely, you have absolutely no excuse, right? If you can afford to survive on no salary for 3 to 6 months, then do it, and you'll be able to build a successful company, or at least learn a crap load while trying, and then go back to the corporate life, build up your bank account again, and then try again. Yeah. For those that cannot just quit their job, because let's be honest, that's not easy to do. Most people can't do that.
Yeah.
You absolutely can start building a company while working 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are. Start doing that initial marketing, customer validation, start getting some feedback, start testing it out to see if it's actually a viable business. And once you've confirmed that it is, or at least you've convinced yourself that it is, then take that leap. And being Malaysian, there are actually so many different funds and grants and bursaries and zero interest loans that Malaysians can tap into. So whenever I hear someone saying that funding is the reason they're not doing it, I wish I could give them a little hit over the head and basically shake them and say no, that's definitely not it. It might be mindset, it might be confidence, it might be fear of pushing forward, but it's definitely not lack of funding, because there's unlimited money in Malaysia right now, just waiting to be taken and used to build a successful business. Yeah.
Let me ask you a little bit about your point of view over keeping a day job and doing something on the side. The old thinking is that it's unethical. What is your perspective?
Unethical from the viewpoint of the employer?
Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously, if you're employed, then that's your focus, that's your priority.
Right.
Fulfill your job duties, but let me put it this way. On the weekend, are you still working? No, most people are going to be sitting at home, I don't know, playing on Facebook, right? So get rid of that, get rid of the Facebook addiction, and shift that towards building a successful company. So in no way whatsoever am I saying, you know, continue taking a paycheck while doing a half-assed job. No, absolutely not. Fulfill your duties, but then get rid of all of those useless addictions and funnel that energy towards building a successful company. I think you can do both. What should be said is that if you're building a company part-time, you're never going to get a real investor. You're also never going to be able to get a real team to support you either. So that needs to be understood. Don't expect, you know, that you can build the next WhatsApp and sell it for billions of dollars while doing it part-time. But what I'm saying is that initial phase, exactly, that initial phase, you can do it while working.
Okay. Where do you see the nest right now? Oh, okay, consider the fact that it's only 6 months.
Yes.
Hero or zero?
I mean, I want to be humble, but hero, I think, because we are full most days, full of energy, and you know, some days we'll get 40, 45 people here. If there's an event, there'll be 150 people here. All of them are, like I mentioned, those motivated, focused, and passionate entrepreneurs. So for us, that's our goal achieved. Obviously, we want to continue growing and continue getting more people in here that are challenging us on a daily basis, and we can challenge them on a daily basis to push forward and think bigger. But for now, I think we're on the right path and just looking forward to meeting more exciting people. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Last thing before we wrap,
Sure.
do you have anything you want to plug? Any events upcoming, or where can they get more information about the nest?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess maybe you'll be able to post a bit of information.
Sure.
Check the description on the YouTube. Post your comments. Yeah. What do you think of the nest? No, but I think the best spot would be nest.mgvd.co. And I guess we'll put a link to the Nest Facebook page as well. We have a number of photos every day of just, you know, the shenanigans that go on at the Nest. So that'd be the best place to stay in the loop. As far as events coming up, we have Kickstart. Bro, do you know the date? I think it's next Saturday. Let's go with next Saturday. Check the Facebook page, it'll be confirmed there. Or go to Maverick's website, kickstart.my, and you'll get the full details there. And what else? Finally, last thing, we'd like to offer an exclusive bonus to all of your viewers, all your listeners. 1 week free of hot desking at the Nest. So drop by anytime. You'll find the address on the Facebook page as well. Drop by anytime and claim your 1 week free of hot desking.
What is hot desking?
Hot desking means come in and work anywhere you want, sit anywhere you want, swim in the pool, whatever you want to do. Yeah, it's basically just working at the Nest without an assigned seat. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to cover before we?
That's it. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much for yours.
Thank you.
All right.
Cool. Take care, guys.